Can you believe I get to work with these people every day? They're really amazing. I'm Molly Greenman, and I'm President and CEO of the Family Partnership. And I'm delighted to welcome you to our annual lunch, Better Together. Whether you're here for the first time or are a returning guest, thank you for spending part of your day with us. Now, you'll notice this year a variety of ribbon colors on your name tags. And I'd like to thank some people, our current and former board members, they're in a different order, our sponsors who help underwrite the event, our table hosts, and our Rotary partners, and last but not least, our Champion Society members who provide significant multi-year financial support. Thank you all. I'd also like to welcome a number of our partners from the public sector, both elected and staff leaders, along with many friends from the foundation world and colleagues from other community-based organizations that do the work with us. Your partnership is vital. Through counseling, education, and advocacy, the Family Partnership helps clear the path for family success. Today, we are in the middle of a powerful transformation to fully integrate a two-generation approach across our organization. A two-generation approach basically embraces the whole family, however they define themselves, and addresses all the things a family needs to prosper. So why is this important? Because we know that poverty and trauma are far too often passed from one generation to the next. And the Family Partnership is pioneering new approaches to help both parents and kids using brain science. Last year, I told you many of our families have had adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. ACEs create toxic stress and interfere with healthy brain development. The Family Partnership is now piloting a unique curriculum to boost executive functioning in children and their parents. Executive functioning is essentially the brain's air traffic control system. It helps us focus on goals and tasks and to inhibit impulsive behavior. Our approach buffers children from toxic stress and improves executive functioning. That means, for example, in kindergarten, a kid takes turns instead of shoving, or uses words instead of fists. The curriculum also boosts the executive functioning of the child's parents, many of whom themselves have had significant adverse childhood experiences. So let me ask you a question. How many of you in the room can think of a time that you were really angry with your boss? None of my staff are raising their hands. Really angry with your boss, and you really wanted to give him a piece of your mind. Did you hold your tongue? Well, if you did, that shows strong executive functioning. And if you didn't, well, how'd that work for you? Improving parents' executive functioning will help them at work, with their families, their neighbors, and especially in parenting their children. This two-pronged approach that we're taking is the only one of its kind in the country. And while it's easier to build healthy brain architecture when someone is very young, the brain is elastic and can be trained at any age. It just gets harder. But at the Family Partnership, we never give up on families, and we never stop trying to help. The parents we serve want their children to succeed, but poverty and the disparities it creates are hard to escape. The fact is, we all have problems in life, but we don't all have the same resources to overcome them. Of the 17,000 people that the Family Partnership served last year, 93% are living in or are one paycheck away from poverty. And the majority are children under age 5. And while we continue to advocate for policy and systems change to eliminate inequities based on race and income, our programs are having a profound impact on the families we serve today. Now, the topic of mental health is increasingly making headlines. And we all know that good mental health is foundational for well-being and prosperity. But while it's an equal opportunity issue, getting access to and paying for counseling is increasingly difficult. At the Family Partnership, we provide mental health counseling services with diverse therapists that match underserved populations. And we work with children and families in our offices, at Head Start programs, schools, and in homes. Last year, of the children and youth at risk of out-of-home placement or incarceration, 93% stayed in their homes with their families because of our services. Now, I call that a win-win-win. The kid benefits, the family benefits, and the community benefits, with better health outcomes, improved well-being and safety, and reduced costs for government and health care. Last year, the Super Bowl in Minneapolis brought heightened awareness of sex trafficking. In response, our Pride program, along with our partner, the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, doubled our street outreach. We served 377 survivors of sex trafficking in the Phillips, Powderhorn, and near North Minneapolis neighborhoods and at the homeless encampment. We connected these survivors to a variety of resources, including our mental health services and therapeutic preschools. Overall, the use of our Pride program services increased by a whopping 42%. You'll hear more about our education and parent development programs shortly, but I just want to brag a little bit here. 94% of children in our 2 multicultural therapeutic preschools graduated kindergarten ready, compared to only 30% of all Minnesota kids living in poverty. And showing the effectiveness of our 2-generation approach, 94% of their caregivers used improved parenting techniques to promote school success. So we talk about helping families clear the path to success, but what's the roadmap for a family to create sustainable change? Last year, we became the first Minnesota organization to offer the evidence-based coaching model, mobility mentoring. I bet some of you in the room have had life coaches. Mobility mentoring is essentially life coaching for people in poverty to improve their economic and educational mobility. Research shows that families who have access to a mobility mentoring coach for 2 years go on to double their income, save thousands of dollars, and some even purchase homes. Now, here's a real-life example from the Family Partnership. This past January, our mobility mentoring coach, Maria Zavala, began helping Anna, a single mom. Maria first met Anna and her 3 children at a homeless shelter. Anna was depressed and overwhelmed. She had a job offer she could not accept because she had no daycare for her 2-month-old. And she also wanted to continue her education. But most of all, Anna wanted to move her family out of the shelter and into a home. Her older son asked Maria, "Are you going to help get us out of this place? Mom's food is way better, but we can't cook here." So Maria met weekly with Anna to set goals and find resources. First, though, Anna needed to address her depression. And of course, the Family Partnership could help with that. Then Anna worked to get the baby into a Head Start program. Now she's able to continue her training for a nursing assistant job so she can start working. When Anna found an apartment and the family was getting ready to move, her son thanked Maria for getting them into their new home. Maria told him, "I didn't do this. Your mom did this, and you helped by supporting her." That's the power of a two-generation approach. It shows what people can do, even what they can do when they are given the tools and support to change their lives. Mobility mentoring and our new executive functioning curriculum are just two examples of how the Family Partnership is using groundbreaking research, innovating to transform the lives of the families in our community, and breaking the intergenerational cycle of poverty. The video we're about to show tells one family's story over several years and through many services. And while the Family Partnership talks about a two-generation approach, as you will see in this story, our work often impacts multiple generations. Meet the Fitzhughs.
News of Nicole's new baby was a blessing for the Fitzhugh family. But when Camille was born 5 weeks prematurely, at under 5 pounds, she was placed in the hospital neonatal intensive care unit for 2 months. Camille's parents, Darius and Nicole, stayed by her side. At first, Camille was drinking from a bottle, but then stopped. Tests verified she was silently aspirating and needed a feeding tube. Because Nicole has cognitive delays in processing information, she initially kept trying to feed Camille.
There's so many things to work through, because every time something changes with Camille, that's something new that Nicole has to learn.
After leaving the hospital, medical staff referred Nicole and Camille to the Family Partnership. Just 3 months old, our therapy staff was challenged to develop a way for Camille to be on her tummy with her feeding tube and develop the strength she would need to crawl and use her hands. Today, at 2.5 years old, Camille still receives supplemental feeding at night through her feeding tube. Our therapists are working on her fine motor skills to help Camille eat more varieties of food safely.
Camille has steadily improved since I met her when she was 2 months old to now. She has continued to make progress, transitioning from not being able to even sit up to sitting, crawling, walking. She's feeding herself now with a spoon, and she's really gaining independence.
Camille wasn't talking, so our therapist went to work. Camille's first babble came in our reach group, and now she uses words.
She says ball a lot. She's car, keys, open, more, her name.
As part of our two-generation approach, Nicole learned essential parenting skills in our support groups.
It's really great. I learned a lot, how to be a better mother, like what to do, because she was a preemie, and I needed help with that. They helped me know what to do and how to track her age and her development.
Earlier in the week, we teach different parenting education. So when we have parent-child interaction, we're able to see that the parent is implementing those skills with their child during that interaction time.
When she was ready, the Family Partnership provided a scholarship for Camille to attend our Four Directions Therapeutic Preschool.
I've seen Nicole and Camille grow. We have watched her grow from kind of a withdrawn child to now she's more outgoing. For Nicole, she's learned a lot how to interact with her daughter more and reading with her more and even cooking. The tools that she's acquiring here, I believe will help her to achieve a number of goals that she wants to reach.
I want to be like a wonder mom who is like loving and supportive of her, cheering her on, and just helping her develop to a great person.
For years, Karen and her twin sister Cheryl would walk by the Family Partnership North Minneapolis building and wonder what they did in there. Now, they know.
People need to know about the Family Partnership and what they do, and people need to support the Family Partnership. You want to turn the page?